What is going on, everybody? It's the France, and we are here for NXT Takeover Aftermath for April 11th, 2018. We have the NXT taping that was taped before Takeover. 2 matches with Kairi Sane versus Lacey Evans, which was in a pretty decent match tonight for Kairi Sane, and it was probably Lacey's best match since she's been on the NXT roster. And Tito Sabatelli versus Riddick Moss versus the heavy machining of Otis Dozovic and Tucker Knight. Before we get anywhere, I gotta say, Otis Dozovic, by far, is gotta be. It just feels like he's having so much fun in every single thing that he does. He is like one of those characters that just looks like he just exudes fun in everything that he does. Of course, this is the aftermath from NXT, so a majority of the show is them talking about NXT Takeover and everything that happened, going back, showing people who've been called up, which we did have a few: Ember Moon, AOP, No Way Jose, and then the iconic duo of Peyton Royce and Billie Kay. Those were it for now. There is rumor that with the Superstar Shakeup happening this coming week on Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live, that there's a possibility that more superstars will be coming up. But tonight was all about just fun and getting brought back down. They are taping the NXT tapings for the rest of this month and going into next month as we build towards Chicago. Of course, with this first set of tapings, we really won't have much build towards Chicago. That'll be done more in May into June. I believe Money in the Bank is in June. So we won't see much of the build towards Chicago just yet, just the seeds. Seeds to where we know they're going to be going, unlike a couple other ones. But this was a pretty fun show. We did get to see Kairi Sane and Lacey Evans put on a pretty decent match. As I said, Lacey Evans' best show. We had a debut of sorts for a tag team that everybody was hoping, and even I thought, was going to be in the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic as a surprise. But what a way to make your debut tonight, and I will get to them later. Show started off immediately with Kairi Sane versus Lacey Evans. No pirate wheel for Kairi Sane. She just had her telescope with her this time. Just little thing right there. So Lacey Evans was in control for the start of this match, Sane thrown into the ropes, but she, instead of like bouncing back, she just catches herself, jumps up, and I thought maybe she's going to do a backflip or something. No, she just sits there, looks for a minute, and jumps back down. Kind of crazy. Head scissors takeover. Sane gets a 2 count on Evans. Evan with a slingshot elbow from the outside for a 2 count. Roundhouse to Sane's ribs, and she rolls up Evans for a 2 count, who hits a lariat on Sane for another 2. Then Cobra Clutch on Sane. She does, instead of just holding her up because of pretty much the size differential, she has to go down and like be on one knee to put in the Cobra Clutch. She does that twice. Evans with a forearm in the corner asks Sane, "Are you okay?" Like, she says, "Are you okay?" Picks her up, and Marinello on commentary is like, "She just asked her if she was okay." That's ladylike, because the whole thing about it is Lacey Evans' gimmick is she is the true lady of NXT, and all this scum that she has to deal with, like everyone except for Shayna Baszler, which she won't mention, because if she knows, if she does, Shayna Baszler will kick her ass. So yeah, that's like them running into that right there and just like wanting to play it up, and then like Percy Bronson was like, "Oh, she's not meaning that. She knows she's just being sarcastic." So she picks her up and slaps her, forearm hits her again, then picks her up one more time and slaps her in the face, like slaps her hard. Then she's sitting down, hunched over, and Lacey Evans gets up and just puts all of her weight on her. Of course, anybody should have known how this was going to go. In the end, Evans gets all over Kairi Sane with a Bronco Buster, one of those. Instead of like X-Pac would do it, she does a setup, like a handstand above her and comes down with a Bronco Buster. Nice looking move. Sane gets up eventually and starts screaming, and some knife edge chomps off the rope. gets caught in a shoulder breaker for a 2 count. Slap to the chest of Sane, goes for a second one, and Sane in forearms by Sane, then an interceptor spear, which her spear is got to be one of the nicest spears out there, plain and simple. She just hits it, and it just looks great. Of course, both are down. Running blockbuster to Evans. Sane gets up and does her charge from one side to the other, then a sliding elbow into the corner, then goes up and lays her out with an elbow off the top rope. Usually, and I see they change this up, but it used to be that she would do that charge and then slide and then go for the elbow, but they kind of changed it up a little bit. Goes for a modified Boston Crab. She figure four'd her legs and looked like she was going for a cloverleaf. But due to the size difference, Lacey Evans just yanks her, shrugs her off. Kairi Sane's spinning back fist is one of the nastiest shots in all of WWE. She just cocks that thing and hits you, and you are down. You are down. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. And of course, back up top for the insane elbow, and your winner is Kairi Sane. Nice little match, like I said. It wasn't like a 5-star classic, what it wasn't supposed to be. It did the job, and my question is, and I'm going to do a little bit of seeing into the future and what we might see into TakeOver on June 16th, which is when they're supposed to have the next one. So I'm going to do that at the end of this after we talk about the next match, but we're going to get on to that next. Then they went to highlights of the 6-man ladder match, the highlights of the tag team title tournament. Then, of course, after the tag team title match was highlights were over, they showed a exclusive from WWE.com where you had the Undisputed Era with Roderick Strong, who is officially a tag team champion coming out of the tournaments that they did at Access, where on Sunday after TakeOver, everyone who was a champion had to face somebody who won the tournaments. And Roderick Strong teamed with Kyle O'Reilly, making him officially a tag team champion. So the Undisputed Era has made 4 people the NXT tag team champions overall. Of course, Adam Cole was for a moment, and I hope to see where this goes. Of course, Roderick Strong was asked by Kathy Kelly why he did what he did. Well, she asked Adam Cole, and he's like, I got this, and they're going to make us wait. So I have a feeling in these tapings going on that we will hear from the Undisputed Era, whether in a in-ring segment or a tape segment that doesn't air to the WWE, the NXT universe. So within the next 4 weeks, we will probably hear why he joined the Undisputed Era, which I'm looking forward to see what happens there. Highlight from the unsanctioned match, which if you haven't seen an unsanctioned match, you need to go back and see it. I started watching. I watched again. I turned on the WWE Network live feed from the NXT Championship match all the way to the end, so I could just get ready for NXT. And that was a beautiful. That was one of the best matches of all time in WWE. I look back at Shayna Baszler's win and what she did. And and of course, Ember Moon making her debut on WWE's Raw the next 2 nights later. And then they had a look back at Black vs. Almas. Then they made a match for next week. So we have officially, this is not from the spoilers, this was actually on the WWE Network. They made a match, Lois Sullivan versus Killian Dane on NXT next week. And with the ladder match being over with, I can see these two getting a brutal match going, and it's going to be fun to see what these two do. Heavy Machinery versus Riddick Moss and Tito Sabatelli. This was, of course, known as the rubber match because these two teams have beat each other at least once. Good back and forth match between these two. All men were down at the end when all of a sudden War Raiders, the former War Machines, still known as Hanson and Rowe, War Raiders, they go by War Raiders now, are here and lay everybody out. Big War Machine chant from the New Orleans crowd, and I love their music. It fits them perfectly. It is some beautiful music, and I am just glad that they kept their names Hanson and Rowe, even though Warbear Hanson is actually, it's Raymond Rowe. Raymond Rowe is actually the guy's name. Hanson is not his actual name, but that's no here nor there. So it's great to see Hanson and Rowe keeping their names, but of course WWE wants to have some kind of trademark on War Machine since they let Ricochet keep his name, and they feel like they've let a lot of people keep their names: Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish. Hanson Rowe. So we're going to give you War Raiders, not War Machine. So it's fine. It's at least they get to keep their actual in-ring names when single competition, which I don't know if Hanson and Rowe have been in much single competition, but it's going to be interesting to see what these guys do. We're probably going to see these guys being challenged in the next few weeks by Tito Sabatelli and Riddick Moss, if Riddick Moss and Sabatelli make it much further, because these guys have been teasing a breakup since, I believe, a little bit before TakeOver Philadelphia. So those two will probably break up, and then, maybe Heavy Machinery versus War Raiders could happen. Probably not at TakeOver because that's too far away, but we could see something here in the next few weeks between War Raiders and Heavy Machinery. Now, what are we going to see for the Women's Championship? We're going to start there. The Women's Championship, I see them because unless Sanity comes up and Nikki Cross goes with them, which I'm sure she will, her and Kairi Sane are probably going to be the ones battling to get to see who will face off against Shayna Baszler at NXT TakeOver Chicago, which I'm sure they'll keep it at Chicago. I would hope they give it a new name, like War Games got a name in November last year. Doesn't have to always be the name of the place you're at. Give us names like War Games or Fatal 4-Way like we used to get, or Respect or something like that. The city names are like, it's like TakeOver Philadelphia. It's like if you go to Philadelphia again for like one of the big 5 pay-per-views, then you're going to get TakeOver Philadelphia too, and it's like, Brooklyn's fine because they've done it enough in Brooklyn that, yes, that's the name they're going to use. But I would like to see other places get like tags to the name just because it keeps it creative. So I think those two will be battling over who's going to be, if Nikki Cross is still going to stay in NXT, because there's a rumor that Sanity's coming up, and of course I think Sanity's twisted sister, aka Nikki Cross, will come up with them and join the SmackDown or Raw division for whichever one she goes to. So I'm looking forward to seeing that maybe, and then I'm pretty sure we're going to get the third. It is going to be a rubber match between Shayna Baszler and Kairi Sane, with Kairi Sane challenging eventually Shayna Baszler for the NXT Women's Championship at NXT TakeOver Chicago. Give them a submission match, something, because why not? See what you can change there. I mean, Kairi Sane wins at the elbow, and of course the Kurohito clutch or whatever they call it for Shayna Baszler is her move, but I'm sure Kairi Sane got a submission in her arsenal somewhere. I never saw Kairi Hojo when she was in Japan wrestle, so I wouldn't know. The North American Championship, Adam Cole. Who would be good to go again for Adam Cole? Well, we have the Velveteen Dream, Ricochet, and EC3. These three from that ladder match who have not been doing anything, who could do something. I could see these three guys off and on until we get there. Maybe a triple threat match during NXT on the way to TakeOver. Not this tapings, the next tapings. We'll get a triple threat match between these two, with the winner going to NXT TakeOver Chicago to face Adam Cole for the championship, with the two that don't win the match facing off one-on-one at TakeOver in a grudge match, which makes me think that EC3 might win this match, because there's been jarring back and forth between Ricochet and Velveteen Dream, so I could see these two costing each other the match if this triple threat match is going to happen. This is all just fantasy booking, guys, fantasy booking. And I could see EC3 versus Adam Cole for the North American Championship at NXT TakeOver Chicago. Now, Tag Team Championships, of course, we have the Undisputed Era right now, but Pete Dunne has unfinished business to do with Roderick Strong, and I don't think that's going to last all the way to TakeOver Chicago. So I believe Pete Dunne and Roderick Strong, either in this taping or the next, will have the blow-off match, and I don't know what they're going to do with Pete Dunne. It looks like, because Pete Dunne's UK Championship has been defended 2 times, I believe, maybe 3 times on takeovers. I see that title has been replaced for a takeover show with the North American Championship. Now, will all 5, and this is the one thing I don't wonder, will all 5 titles always be defended at TakeOver? They honestly don't have to be, because you have the 4 titles? It's 4 titles, right? tag team, yeah, all four. I don't know why I said five. Four. You have the tag team NXT Championship, North American Championship, and the Women's Championship. Yeah, of course, if you want to count the UK. You don't have to have the North American title and the tag team titles on a takeover every single time. If the feud calls for it, fine, but you don't always have to. With the tag team division, this one's going to be interesting because I think by the time we get to takeover, War Machine or War Raiders will be in prime position to go to Chicago for a tag team title opportunity. I know, that's not like people are going to be saying, well, what about the Street Profits? They've been here a lot longer. What about the Heavy Machinery? They've been around a lot longer. I mean, Heavy Machinery had a tag team title opportunity when the AOP had the titles, but that was back in June or July of last year, and that never happened on the takeover. Let's see. I'm pretty sure we're going to see the War Machine between Chicago. It's either going to be happening in Chicago or Brooklyn, where they win the titles. I would probably say give the Street Profits a tag team title opportunity at the Chicago. Keep War Machine off of the tag team titles for now, and build them to Brooklyn because everyone's been stating, Brooklyn is is WrestleMania-ish for takeover for NXT. That's their WrestleMania in quote unquote. Now, I asked myself this, and I wondered, we're going to talk about the NXT Championship. Who do I think we see at TakeOver Chicago? Some people are saying Johnny Cena should stay in NXT, get his final rematch at TakeOver Chicago. And I was wondering, when was the last time we had a multi-man, and I know many people are getting tired of multi-man matches, myself included, but when was the last time we had more than a one-on-one match for the NXT Championship at a TakeOver? Forever. I mean, I think the last time we had one was Tyler Breeze, Sami Zayn, Adrian Neville at the time, and Tyson Kidd at NXT TakeOver Fatal 4-Way, which that was a very time ago. I could be totally wrong about that, but yeah, I would like to see Johnny Gargano and Andrade Cien and Aleister Black in a triple threat ladder match. Yeah, triple threat ladder match, or just a triple threat match at all, or cage match at Chicago for the NXT Championship. One of those, like a ladder match, a cage match, or a triple threat match in general. I would love to see that right there. So I would definitely like to see that for sure. What do you guys think about that? So, and then of course, what happens with Tommaso Ciampa? That's another thing. What is going to happen with Tommaso Ciampa? Johnny Gargano probably feels like the book between him and Tommaso Ciampa is closed. I don't think so, but I don't want to see. That could be like people are probably calling. Let's have the rematch and the grudge match rematch at TakeOver Chicago. But I'm like, let's keep that. I wouldn't do that yet. I mean, it would bring it full circle. A lot of people were also saying maybe keep the unsanctioned match from TakeOver New Orleans until we get to Chicago, but I don't think we could have. If they had do like weekly pay-per-views, it would like weekly events. It'd be different, but since they don't, no, I could see that. No, so I'm gonna have to say I would like to see a triple threat match with Johnny Gargano getting screwed out of the NXT Championship by Tommaso Ciampa, because it is a no DQ match, and of course Aleister Black somehow retains by that. And then of course we go to Brooklyn and have Johnny Gargano win the NXT Championship in Brooklyn for everybody. So those are my thoughts on what's going to happen with NXT. There's a lot. NXT is in a good place. They just lost Ember Moon. They just lost the AOP. They just lost Peyton Royce and Billie Kay, who haven't really been around since November anyway. And they just lost No Way Jose, which really wasn't much of a loss, but they did lose a good bit of talent. But they are in a good place, and unless they get purged and everybody comes up at one time, which I doubt, this feels like after WrestleMania, I see Money in the Bank, maybe SummerSlam and Survivor Series. I see talent coming up. I honestly do. I honestly do see more talent coming up after Survivor Series and SummerSlam. It just feels like one of those things. So we're like, unless people like everybody comes up and NXT gets rated, they are in a good place for the next 6, 7, 8, 9 months. But those are my thoughts and the results of and my review of the NXT Aftermath of Takeover event for this week. My name is The Forxe. Find me on Twitter at The Forxe. Find me on twitch.tv/TheForxe08. Also, make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, smash that like button more than once if you can, and give me a comment down below on your thoughts on what you expect from NXT in the next until we get to Chicago, which is on June 16th, I believe. Yes. Until then, I'm getting out of here. I'll be back tomorrow for a special Superstar Shakeup preview and predictions. Until then, I'm getting out of here. You guys have a wonderful day.